Hi everyone, this is Faith and welcome to the Hope Hub. Welcome to the Hope Hub. This is a place that inspires bold hope. A place for those of you who are facing life challenges, those of you who are going through struggles, vicissitudes of life, those of you who are looking and seeking purpose and desiring more of life and need to hear a word of encouragement, need someone to speak life into their life and feel that, okay, my hope is strengthened, my joy has been renewed, and I can live a better life today. So let me start from the very beginning and why I started the Hope Hub. And I know I've done various videos about why it is I exist and why it is I'm here. But I do want to serve this page, the people who like and follow this page, and do what it is that I feel is my calling for this specific page. So welcome to the Hope Hub. Let me start from the beginning. So 5 years ago, I found myself in a place where I needed a word of encouragement. I found myself in a place where I needed someone to just speak into my situation. I didn't even know that I was looking for someone or something. All I knew was that I was living life not fully who I was supposed to be. I was living life depressed. I was living life suicidal. I was living life in a place where I was just going through the motions. I was going to work. I was, clocking in, clocking out, and I would come home, I would make the food, but then at night I would sleep and I would find myself in a situation whereby I was anxious. My soul was not at peace. I needed someone to just speak life into my situation. So that is what I am trying to be on this page, or what my calling has been for the last few months, in terms of just being that voice of hope, being that voice of inspiration, that voice of motivation for those of you who happen to stumble onto the Hope Hub, and also bring people into the fold who also feel that they have a story to share and who also feel that they have hope to share with others. So my story. Who was that voice for me? And let me tell you, it doesn't even have to be a specific person. It can be whosoever. It can be anyone. But for me, this was my story. I found myself one night sleeping and I was having a restless sleep. I kept waking up. I was wrestling in my spirit. I kept feeling like something was hovering over me. I kept feeling like I was fighting something in the spiritual, in the mental. And so I woke up very early in the morning. It was probably like 5 in the morning, turned on the TV screen, and on the TV screen was TBN. And it was this pastor called Andrew Wommack, and his show is called The Gospel Truth. And he can be very dry. He had his Bible and he was just flipping pages. And I was like, I don't know, maybe I should go to the next channel and watch the news or do something. And something in my spirit halted me, because at the bottom of the screen was the name of the program. And it said, The Power of Faith-Filled Words. The Power of Faith-Filled Words. Now, this might be... You may think this is all about the power of words, and I'm sure you've heard the power of words, the power of words. But really, that morning, what he reminded me was not necessarily the power of words, which is true, the power of words, but he reminded me about a bigger source than who I was, that I was depending on myself. I was depending on medicine. I was depending on doctors. I was depending on other people to speak into my situation. And in all of that, I had forgotten God. Have you ever found yourself in a place where you have forgotten God? Have you ever found yourself in a place where you are looking for answers, all the answers within yourself, looking for all the answers in the physical plane, looking for answers from other people, for the pastor, from the doctor, from your friends, from your sisters, from your family, but yet you haven't taken the time to sit down and look up and say, wait a minute, all my life I have been taught that there is a higher power. All my Sunday school lessons have focused on a God that is bigger, the God of impossible. But for whatever reason, whenever we find ourselves, especially as adults, especially as just even Christians, sometimes you find yourself looking within yourself, looking for other people for the answers to your problems. So that morning, and I'll tell you what the story was about. The pastor was preaching about the fig tree. which is very interesting because I almost flipped the channel because I said the fig tree. What is he talking about, Jesus and the fig tree? And I don't know if you all have heard this story, but I'll read what he read that morning. It was Mark 11:13 through 14 and 20 through 24, which says, so this was the time Jesus was walking with his disciples, right? And he was going along doing his ministry. And seeing a fig tree afar off, having leaves. So he saw a fig tree having leaves, right? And it wasn't time for figs, but this fig tree had leaves. And according to what I've read in terms of in Israel, fig trees, whenever they have leaves, that means they have figs. The leaves show up in the same time as the figs show up. So when he came onto it happily, so he might find, figs there on the tree, he found nothing but leaves. For the times of the figs was not yet. And Jesus answered and said unto it, he said to the fig tree, no man eat fruit of thee hereafter forever. Forever. So he cursed the fig tree. No man will ever eat figs off of you forever. And his disciples heard it. They didn't say anything at the time. And in the morning, the following morning, 24 hours later, as they passed the fig tree, they saw the fig tree dried up from the roots. And Peter, calling to remembrance, said, wait a minute, Master, Jesus, Rabbi, behold, the fig tree which thou cursed is withered away. And of course, he was kind of like, Master, I can't believe the fig tree that you cursed has withered away. So, and Jesus answering said to him, have faith in God. That was exactly what he said. He said, have faith in God. Think about your situation right now, right? Think about what it is you're going through. Have faith in God. Like, that's what Jesus said. For verily I say unto you that whosoever, he didn't say, verily I say unto you that the pastor or the doctor or your friend or your mother or your father. No, he said, whosoever shall say unto this mountain. So what is that mountain in your life? This mountain, be thou removed and be thou cast into the sea, and shall not doubt in his heart, but shall believe that those things he said shall come to pass. He shall have whatsoever he saith. Therefore I say unto you, whatsoever ye desire, when you pray, believe that you receive them and you shall have them. So this was my but God moment, because on that day, on that morning, 5 years ago, I felt like God had reached into my situation and just reached in and pulled me out, because he reminded me the power of God, the power of the word of God, and the power of speaking life into your situation, that whatsoever you believe, if you pray about it, if you believe in it and shall not doubt in your heart, you shall have whatsoever you desire. So that's my message for you today on the Hope Hub. For anyone, this is why I'm existing in this space, is to encourage you, because I want to be that voice to you, that voice that is calling out, that voice, that beacon of hope, that lighthouse that you can look up and say, there is a power that is greater than my circumstance, a power that is greater than any challenge, a power that is greater than any situation that I can see in the physical, a power that can heal my situation, a power that can take this impossible situation and make it possible. That's what I want to be for you in the Hope Hub, because when I needed hope, when I needed someone, when I needed a voice of encouragement, God reached through that TV screen, through Pastor Andrew Womack, through the word of God, through what he preached that day, and he pulled me out of that pit. And from that point on, I started looking into the word of God, and I started dwelling in the word of God and speaking life into everything in my life, every situation. And from that point, I was able to find peace. For once in months, I was able to sleep well. I was able to move and have my being in God. I was able to rebuke circumstances and things that people were saying over my life, because sometimes people come into your life and they tell you the opposite. They tell you, they speak doubt. They speak death into your life. And so it is your responsibility to wake up, wipe those tears, and start looking at the word of God and start having faith. And faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. So for you to increase your faith, look into that Bible, look into that word of God. Let it infuse, let it get into your spirit. And from that point on, you will start seeing a change in your life. Remember, life and death are in the power of the tongue. So you can speak life into your life, into your situation. So thank you for listening to me today. Thank you for being here, for liking, for following. I ask that if you know someone that needs to hear a word of encouragement, if you know someone that needs to have hope, invite them to like and follow this page, but also be that hope, be that story, be that encouragement in their life. Do not let people die in vain. Do not let people live in heartache and in anxiety and in worry when you have a word of hope that you can inspire someone and reach into their situation. God bless you as you continue to come here. Every week I'll be here encouraging you and lifting you up and giving you a word of hope and encouragement. God bless. Bye-bye.